The Aam Aadmi Party is an interesting case study for political buffs. The party claims to be a party for the Aam Aadmi or the common Indian, but there have been several instances when the party has acted anti-Indian. In 2016, when the Indian Army carried out surgical strikes in Pakistan following the Uri attack, Kejriwal demanded proof for the same, insulting the valor of the armed forces. His comments became fodder for Pakistan, which started hailing Kejriwal as a hero. Kejriwal also tweeted an article which claimed that it was not Pakistan but India which was getting isolated internationally after the Uri attacks by Pakistani terrorists. When the central government brought in the legislation to fast-track the citizenship process for those fleeing religious persecution from Pakistan, Bangladesh and Afghanistan, Kejriwal and his party called for rejecting it. AAP had also openly supported the Shaheen Bagh protests, which resulted in the barbaric 2020 Delhi riots. Back then, Kejriwal's right-hand man and AAP Minister Sisodia had openly said, "I stand with Shaheen Bagh."
मैं कहीं भी खड़ा हूं, मैं शाहीन बाग के लोगों के साथ खड़ा हूं। मैं कहीं भी खड़ा हूं, मैं शाहीन बाग के लोगों के साथ खड़ा हूं।
AAP was also elemental in fomenting the 2020 Delhi riots. The Delhi police revealed that the shooter who fired at the Shaheen Bagh protest site belonged to the Aam Aadmi Party. AAP leader Tahir Hussain, along with radical Islamists, instigated Muslims to go after Hindus during the Delhi riots. In his confession to the Delhi police, he said that he wanted to teach a lesson to the Hindus. AAP Supremo Kejriwal has also been a vocal supporter of people like Kanhaiya Kumar and Umar Khalid, who had called for breaking India during an event organized in JNU in February 2016. In 2019, the Arvind Kejriwal government had rejected Delhi police's request for sanction to prosecute former JNU Students' Union President Kanhaiya Kumar and others. On the other hand, AAP has left no chance to insult the Indian Armed Forces who guard for the unity and integrity of our nation. AAP MLA Naresh Balyan threatened the retired Army Major Surendra Punia, who had voiced his support for Tajinder Pal Singh Bagga, who was arrested under frivolous charges by the Punjab AAP government. AAP had also indulged in communalizing and politicizing the army. When the late General Bipin Rawat was elevated to the post of Army Chief, AAP leaders cast communal and political aspersions on the move. AAP's social media wing also gave an unwarranted political angle, trying to link Bipin Rawat with the BJP. AAP MLA Rajendra Pal Gautam, in an attempt to stir up public opinion against the Indian Army, shared an old video claiming that Jawans were being insulted by their superiors with casteist slurs and remarks. AAP also had no qualms in fanning the flames of Khalistani separatists. Harpreet Singh Bedi, the now expelled social media president of AAP's Himachal unit, had sent pro-Khalistani tweets on Twitter and had even called Khalistan a constitutional right. Back in 2017, Arvind Kejriwal himself had stayed at the house of a former Khalistani terrorist in Punjab. Gurdayal Singh, chief of banned Sikh body International Sikh Youth Federation, had campaigned for AAP during the 2017 Punjab elections. In a sting operation conducted in 2018, a pro-Khalistan movement leader revealed that his front had funded the AAP during the 2017 Punjab Assembly elections. Then AAP MLA and leader of opposition Sukhpal Singh Khaira in 2018 justified the secessionist movement when referendum 2020 was organized by Khalistani extremists. In 2020, Balkar Sidhu, a former AAP leader who is now with the Congress, claimed that the Aam Aadmi Party was being funded by Khalistan supporters living abroad. AAP had also supported the farmers' protest, which was infiltrated by Khalistani elements. Several AAP accounts had used the phrase "stand with farmers", something that was mentioned in the Greta Thunberg toolkit. Disha Ravi, an alleged environmental activist who had declared her support for AAP, was one of the individuals who was instrumental in effecting the toolkit, which had the blueprint to break India by triggering unrest. When she was arrested in February 2021, Arvind Kejriwal came out in support of her. In 2020, when the pandemic was raging across the country with oxygen coming under huge demand, the AAP government in Delhi had inflated Delhi's oxygen requirements, thus creating an artificial shortage. While the AAP government was crying shortage of oxygen, its leaders were distributing free oxygen. Delhi's famed Khan Chacha restaurant's owner Navneet Kalra, a close aide of Kejriwal, was found to be hoarding more than 400 oxygen concentrators. He was reportedly making a profit of more than Rs 56,000 on each and every concentrator. While people were gasping for breath in different parts of the country, Kejriwal was sitting on excess oxygen which could have otherwise benefited other states in need. These are just a few instances that show how AAP has acted against the interest of India.